Today's guest grew up in Taiwan, the daughter of a factory worker and a housewife, arrived in the US barely speaking English, and went on to build a career spanning Meta, eBay, McDonald's, and Target. Some pretty substantial brands, right? Before launching her own AI-powered startup. Anya Cheng is the founder of Taelor AI, a company that uses artificial intelligence to pick and rent clothes for busy men. Think of it as a personal stylist on autopilot. She holds a master's from Northwestern University, she's got big brains, and an MBA from the prestigious University of Chicago Booth School of Business, and she has raised $2.3 million at a $7 million valuation with investors including Google Capital, the YouTube founder, and Morgan Stanley. From petitioning her high school principal in Taiwan to couch surfing in New York City to closing deals with top-tier venture capitalists, Anya's story is one of relentless hustle, creative networking, and refusing to take no for an answer. You're going to love Anya.
Startups with Stu is a podcast for anyone living or wanting to live the startup life, either as a founder or a team member. Your host, Stuart Draper, was a 9-time Inc. 5000 honoree before age 40. This show dives deep into the exhilarating world of entrepreneurship with guests that are seeking advice from Stu for their startup or business owners that want to share their entrepreneurial journey. Listeners always walk away with actionable ideas of what to do to take their startup to the moon. Startup life can feel like a roller coaster ride. And with Startups with Stu, you're likely to turn your roller coaster ride into a rocket ship ride. Get ready to uncover the secrets to startup success from visionary founders and savvy investors who've transformed groundbreaking ideas into thriving ventures.
Welcome back to another episode. We're in the mid-50s of the Startups with Stu show as far as episodes counted. And this one is sure to be one of the best yet. With us today, I have Miss Anya Cheng. Anya, welcome to the show.
Hello. This is Anya from Silicon Valley. Now I'm running an AI company called Taelor. We use AI to pick clothes for busy men. So if you hate shopping and laundry, we help you out with your executive coaching or like fairy godmother or gadget guy behind a superhero. Before starting a company, I have 15 years in big tech companies before, most recent at Meta, where I helped build out Facebook, Instagram shopping, was head of product for eBay, helped them launch new business in Latin America, Africa, Asia. Senior director at McDonald's, helped them launch food delivery business when Uber Eats just started, and in-store technology like in-store kiosks. And I helped Target to build their tech office here in Silicon Valley. I'm excited to be here.
Yours is such a neat resume that's going to be really fun to dissect a little bit. And Taelor AI, what you're doing with that business is really innovative, unique, new, different. There's a lot of different businesses that have been in the game of helping successful men dress better. And so I'm excited to learn more about the business. Before we go there, I always like to look at the early stages of life for founders. I think there's so many lessons that can be learned from that. And one of the lessons that I like to take away is that no two paths are the same. So if you tune into the episode and you've heard the stories of different founders, they don't all come with, dad was an entrepreneur, grandpa was an entrepreneur, and they don't all come from, hey, I was born and raised in Silicon Valley. So Anya, tell us about what it was like growing up for you.
Yeah, I grew up in Taiwan, and my mom is a housewife. My dad is a factory worker. I didn't know what entrepreneurship like. Not even until 3 years ago. I never thought I would be a founder. But throughout my career, I always loved 0 to 1 stuff. Like Facebook, Instagram shopping, and new business for Latin America, Africa, Asia for eBay, and food delivery business before McDonald has it, or even Target, the office here. I always loved 0 to 1. Growing up, I was always a troublemaker. Back in Asia, 20 years ago was very conservative. So I remember in high school, we were not even allowed to create any clubs. So I remember in high school, they say, hey, we have 10 clubs in the class. You all have to pick one and then decide to join, and that's it. Everyone have the club time during this hour to this hour. So I went to the principal's office. I said, hey, I really want to create a new club. I was very interested in media at the time. I said, I want to bring classmates to go to TV stations and newspaper, radio stations, and go on the movies, production shows. And they said, no, you are not allowed. So I went home, I read the handbook of the school, which is hundreds of pages. And I found there was actually a line saying that if you want to create a club, you can, but you have to get petition from a few hundred people in the school. So I wrote down a poster. I went to class by class. I tell them my idea. I say, this is wrong. We need a petition to change this. We need to create a club. And of course, my mom was quickly in the principal's office and I was ready to be kicked out from the school. So, but right before I was kicked out from school, I actually got over 500 people signed up and won the petition, and the club was born. And from there, of course, all kinds of club was started in school. It was my first time to learn that instead of giving up on the ideas, I actually fight it through and eventually got what I wanted. And I realized you don't have to always follow the rules. You can build the rules. So that was, I would say, my first entrepreneurship journey. And then I went.
And by the way, Anya, that was in Taiwan. Is that correct?
I was back in Taiwan in high school. Yeah. Okay. And then after college in Taiwan, I became a reporter. I worked for a PR and then a media company for advertising agency. After that, we were the partner agency of Ogilvy. And then from there, I went to Northwestern University to get my master's degree in marketing. But I happened to graduate in 2008 when there was no job anywhere. Lehman Brothers went bankruptcy, was a big recession. So I was not even able to get on any campus recruiting. So I decided to go on different schools, have engineering school, history schools, law schools. So I went outside of all their career fair. And as soon as a recruiter came out of the building, I said, hey, this is my resume. I'm from the marketing school. I love your company. I know you are not hiring for my role, but your colleague will be. This is my resume. And I didn't get any interview. People told me that, no, this is not the right way. In the US, we call networking. You need to know someone, not ambush recruiters. So, but I didn't know anyone. Well, that's not true. I know professor, they don't know me, but I know them, right? So I knock on the door for chemistry professor, material science professor, MBA school professor, finance professor. I say, hey, I know you. I check out your LinkedIn. You used to work for this company. This company is hiring, and you know this person. Can you forward my resume to the person? It didn't work out. One day, a professor say, I don't know you. I cannot refer you to anyone. But tomorrow, I'm hosting a speech. There will be 3 speakers coming, and we need 10 more students. Come and listen to the talk and bring 10 students. So I did. I brought 10 students there. My English was so bad, I didn't understand what she was talking about. But in the end of the speaker's conversation, I went there and I said, amazing talk. Here's my resume. And then she connected me to the recruiter for the company. I got an interview. In the interview, I thought this is perfect. It's a magazine company hiring a marketing department. I have a media background. I have a marketing degree. I thought this is my job. A few weeks went by. I followed up with a recruiter. The recruiter picked up the phone call. She said, stop calling me. I was laid off. The recruiter was laid off herself. So I said, hey, you have nothing to do. Do you want to grab a coffee? She said, yes. So we had a coffee with her. She told me everything about the company, secrets, who is the decision maker, what's going on. But she also gave me a really interesting tip. She said, have you heard of New York? New York is a bigger city in the US. New York, LA has bigger city, more job than Chicago. So with that idea in mind, I went on a 2-month trip. I stayed in different friends' living room for a week over a week. I print out 2,000 alumni lists from Northwestern University's website. I cold calling each one of them, say, hi, I'm a recent graduate. Can I go grab a coffee with you? And eventually, I met with a lot of them. I bought newspaper from the street. You always say, publisher name so-and-so. If you want advertising, call this number. So I start cold calling each of the publisher. Eventually, I actually met with New York Times CEO, CNN VPs, and all the media company executive, but no one was hiring. I thought this is working, but it's just too slow. I need to go to conference. Lots of people in conference, right? But conference ticket, $2,000. Who has the money?
Yeah. Right.
So I call a magazine company back in Taiwan. I say, do you want to cover this amazing conference as a story for free? So they say yes. I call a conference. I say, I'm a reporter.
Okay, wait. I gotta stop you, Anya. This is so good. There's so many takeaways already. We'll get back to the magazine. I don't want to stop you forever, but I want to share something that I hope listeners are catching on to. You guys, Anya comes to the US in college, barely speaking English, gets to the end of college and has a hard time getting a job. But she is doing everything she can, including going and getting 10 friends to come hear a speaker speak a language she barely still understands, to then say, hey, here's my resume, and to try to get a job. That doesn't work out, but she meets a recruiter. She talks to the recruiter. The recruiter says, hey, you should go to New York City. She doesn't stop. She actually goes and she can't afford to just move to New York City, but she finds friends that will let her stay on couches. She spends time hustling there. Then she goes, okay, I think I need to go faster and talk to more people. I'm going to go to conferences, but I can't afford a conference. So then she goes and calls a media company back in Taiwan that has a magazine and says, hey, can I represent you at a conference? Then I can go for free as a media specialist. That was genius. Like the level of hustle and grind and networking. America is loaded with opportunities, but not for everyone. It's for those that have the grind and hustle mentality that they will, hell or high water, find a way. They're just going to find a way. And I love that about your story, Anya. So keep going. You finally get into a conference because you're the media specialist. I love it.
Yeah, and I met with a whole bunch of CEO and lots of company, but again, nobody was hiring. They all say, if you know someone is hiring, let me know. I'm looking for a new job. I will be firing soon. So after the 2 months in New York and LA, I came back to Chicago. The job market was just as cold as Chicago's winter. I was ready to go back home in Taiwan. But before I go, I realized that I learned a lot in those 2 months, even though I didn't get any job. Every time I go on information interview, I prep and I learn more about the company. And I did learn something from those companies. So I decided to call the magazine. Remember the Recruiter magazines? It was a farmer's magazine. They are trade publication for farmer and salon owners. So I called the CEO again. I say, hey, do you want to know what your competitors are working on? In CNN, ESPN, I interview all of those executives, remember? So before I went, I interviewed their readers who are farmers and salon owners. Of course, I already interviewed their former employee. I open their magazine, I see advertisers' numbers. So I call the advertiser, I interview the advertiser, and I put together a business plan. I said, this is what those amazing companies are working on based on your reader, advertiser, and employee. I think among this, you should do these three. And if you want to do these three, I think you need someone who have a little bit marketing background, have a media background, passionate about industry, just graduate from school and not very expensive. And I happen to know someone. Anya Cheng. So she asked me, do you want to be a contractor? My English was really bad. I didn't know what contractor mean. I said yes. I went home and I Googled contractor and I didn't understand why she want me to be a plumber. But that's how my first job in the US.
She said, wait, a contractor. And she Googles it up and now she thinks she's going to, why would they want me to be a plumber? That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's how I start my career in the US and eventually work for those big tech companies.
Okay, so you get the first contract. The contract was with which company first?
It's a company called Vance Publishing. It's small trade publications and farmers read their magazines. So I was there and helping them to build out their actually digital marketing service department. So They are media company, but they want to act like media agency because they can say, hey, instead of putting advertising here, I can help you to do email marketing. I can help you to do SEO. And we end up launching a marketing service department within a media company. So I would say that was my kind of third entrepreneur. My second entrepreneur was creating my own job. And third one will be creating that department.
Okay, so I love this. You're building yourself into the entrepreneur you are today through different aspects of life and doing the different things in life that you've got to accomplish first. You know, from creating the club in high school when the club doesn't exist. Which, by the way, there's a few different founders I've met now that have that was a part of their story. And you know, everyone talks about the lemonade stand, but creating the club, that's another one. I love it. And then after that, it was getting into the US in college and networking hard into creating your first job, which was actually a contract project. But then it sounds like you delivered there and that led to even more opportunities in your future. Is that right?
Yeah, so from there, I became an employee and I worked there. And Sears recruit me and say, "Hey, media buying, come in and media selling. Let me come in to help us on media buying. We are on advertising side. We want to buy media." And I start getting into big data. As you know, it was an era of more personalizations and programmatic advertising. Everyone see different advertisements. And then as I go to the website department. I say, "Hey, you guys, I help you guys, every customer see different advertisement. But then when they come to your website, everyone see the same homepage. This sucks. You fix it." And they say, "We don't know how to fix it." And I say, "Can I join your team to fix it?" So then I end up joining the product team and became product manager, which at that time I didn't know what that really mean. All I remember what I know to do was that I help them to every single person see the website differently. And I started my career in the big data and product management space and eventually become their product heads and leading engineering and product teams and become doing what I mentioned earlier on those things. And during the journey, I decided to be an adjunct faculty. I teach back to Northwestern University. I want to help more students who have been, hopefully they're being inspired that they can do whatever they want to because their English are better than I am.
I love that. Where did you go to college and where did you teach as an adjunct?
Yeah, so I teach back in Northwestern University. After I worked for Sears and Target during those time, I also got my MBA from University of Chicago, and
Booth School. The Booth School is a very good business.
that's
So Northwestern is a prestigious school, and the Chicago Booth School of that is a prestigious business school.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I took two student loans and for so entire 100% loaned it from my school. As a foreigner, my interest rate was 7% in school. So after school, I was just working day and night for big tech companies like eBay and Meta to pay back for my student loans. And I did finish that in just a few years. So happy about that. And that's how I'm able to become a founder again.
well, good for you getting all of that done. The investments you made in developing yourself into someone that could uh, go on to do great things. It's going to be fun to watch your next journey here. So, okay, but you mentioned McDonald's. I want to hear briefly about your experience with McDonald's. Did you enjoy that time working there?
No, actually. So I think so. I think I learned a lot there. It's very complicated for online, offline, heavy operation, which is actually very helpful for my current career, job. Being Taylor, we rent out clothes for busy men. So we do have real operation, like physical stuff. Different from like Meta or eBay, which they don't have anything physically that you need to deal with, right? So I have a lot more appreciation about that. I think so was a lot more change management at the time because, and that's something I learned. If you want to change something small, but change it a lot and quickly. What we were trying to do at the time was that we, at that time, the company didn't even have Google Analytics. But all day long, we were talking about, hey, we need to do the drone delivery for foods. We need to have like self-driving cars delivering food. So Obviously it was an amazing idea and a lot of press, but then eventually become innovation theater and nothing really fulfill. Eventually we do get those in-store kiosk done, which everybody's using nowadays. I actually started that business. But I think what I learned was that for a company have a lot of legacy, if you want to change it small, but change it quickly. That's how you eventually get things done.
Yeah. Changing large organizations, very hard. Changing the world with your startup, not as hard. So, Anya, on the show, Startups with Stu, we talk about what it takes to take your startup to the moon. And we have helped hundreds now of founders in this journey. So, which I'm loving getting to experience and be a part of. Tell me about what it means for you to take Taelor AI to the moon.
Maybe I will start from the beginnings on how we get first clients. So
Yeah.
we started as a product management professors. I teach MVP, minimum viable product, which is a product. It's not the smallest product. It's the smallest product to validate a hypothesis. So it depends on what's your hypothesis. For example, rent the runway, they rent dresses. So their MVP was screenshot from Macy's dress, email to a group of students who are going party and ask them, would you rent it? Because if no one rent it, why would you buy any of those clothes? Right? Zappos was that there was no, the hypothesis was people buy shoes online. So when people buy something online, they went to the store and buy it and actually ship it to people, right? When Echo started, the MVP was a real person behind. Say, Echo, play music. Okay, let me play beat music. Because if no one talked to the machine, which was a hypothesis, then there's no point to build AI for it. So our hypothesis was men will rent clothes, so then they can save time. So we spent $10, launch a Shopify website. There was no feature there besides a box there. If you're interested, put your email. So a month after, there was a guy email me and say, hey, I'm Michael. Please bump me up to the list. I'm really eager to use your service. And I ignore him. He must be a scam. Who really want our service? We're nobody. Scam. A month after, it was right before Christmas, a guy called me. Hi, I'm Michael from San Diego. I said, how do you get my number? Scammer. And the guy said, no, I add you on LinkedIn and you accept it. Sometimes I accept people. I thought I met them in conference. And he said, and you show your numbers there. And I'm a real estate agent. I call people all day long. I really like the blue shirt on your website. And I'm on your wait list for 2 months. You guys must be super popular. No, we were just not ready. You're super popular. Can you bump me up? And I realized he is a real customer. So then we went to department store. It was right before Christmas. We bought stuff that's on sale. We went to post office, put stuff into a shipping box and sent it to him. He became our first customer. From there, we did the same thing for 100 people. But the goal was we interview every one of them so we know what they are really looking for. Who are they? Why do they want the service? And turn out that we realized that our customers are busy men who are not into fashion. Sales guy, single guy, executive, busy dad, consultant, they are socially active, but they don't want to do shopping or laundry. So we know that we need AI to style them. Otherwise, who has the money to hire that many human stylists? But we also need human stylists to train AI and interact with the customer. No one wants to be a prompt engineer. We also know that we need working with fashion brands, etc. So we have a clear view on what we want to raise money for. So with that learning from 100 people, we put together a business plan, and that's how we raise $2.3 million.
Hey, congratulations. How 2.3 million raised at what valuation?
We started at 7 million a few years ago. Yeah.
Excellent. So after the first fundraise, has there been a need yet to do an additional round of funding, Anya? Or are you continuing to bootstrap from there?
No, with the few millions, we quickly get to, in 2-3 years, we get to few millions revenue. And that's how we are able to getting into, soon we are opening our second round of funding. And during the journey, people tend to ask me like, then how do you get this 2 million? How do you get your first investor? So we started with just because we went to good school, so we posting on WhatsApp group for those schools, say, hey, we're hosting information sessions. If anyone is interested, come to talk to us in a group setting, so then we don't have to talk to one by one. And we're very lucky with a lot of support from the community. We quickly got $1 million from the community. But
When you say community, are you referring to the alumni community of Chicago Booth Business School?
that's right. And then Northwestern University, because I'm alumni and faculty. So we posted there, and then we talk to people as information sessions there. But it's not that easy to get venture capital money. So we just asked our professor, because I actually started a business with my classmates. We met 10 years ago. Her background is all operation and finance. When you go to Starbucks, the food was made by her previous company. Airlines, the food was made by the previous company, Amazon Go. So she knows operation, like heavy operation, airline food, heavy operation. And also she was a finance CFO, auditor. So we know very different background, but we have very similar education. So we have very similar thought process and principles. So from there, we went to our professor to ask for referral, right? Hey, professor, you know me. Do you know any venture capitalists? And professor say, I'm just a professor. How do I know? But I know other students who are founders. Here you go. Let me connect you to another founder. So I talked to the founder. In the conversation, I was supposed to ask him for referral for investor, but I forgot. I was genuinely trying to help him. He told me about his company is an AI camera company. He's looking for police stations and bodyguard companies to help sell the product to. And I remember when I was at Meta, I helped you Facebook connectivity. So I went to Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda to bring internet to countries that didn't have internet. So I know a lot of bodyguard company. So I connect all of those companies to him. And a few weeks after, he circled back to me. He said, Anya, thank you so much, amazingly. I got a client from you. By the way, how can I help? And now I remember, oh yeah, I was trying to ask you for the investor contact. That's why we had that conversation. So he referred me to Berlin Capital, which is four medalist lists. Means that he is the most high ROI VC in the US. So with a half an hour conversation with Berlin Capital, we raised $1 million. And that's how we got the first institution fund from the VC space.
Wow. See, you went through a really hard time, Anya, moving from where you were in college to New York and couch surfing while you figured out what you were going to do for work. You learned, I got to network. This isn't working just giving my resume to people. And in that process, it started to click for you that, okay, wherever I'm at in my life, who I meet, who I connect with matters. They can help me. And if I help them, then it will lead to them also helping me. There is so much genius in different parts of Anya's story. And it's why I love the Startups with Stu show is as we listen to the stories, folks, pay attention to those little details, read between the lines, and you will see that a lot of the life lessons that come from it that you can apply in your own life aren't in how you pitch your investment of 2.3 million at a 7 million valuation. Less important than being able to get in front of the people that actually have the $1 million to invest in your business. And how did she do that? She went to school. She put in the time and energy in doing that. So Anya, I'm just so proud of you. What you've done, what you've built so far with Taelor is incredible. By the way, the website, I've got it pulled up on screen. Those watching live on Instagram can see it. It is a very good looking site. You've been able to get some great media publicity. That obviously another great life lesson. You spent time young learning the power and value of media. So good for you.
I told you the story about how we get that though.
Yes, so please do.
I thought, how do we need clothes, right? Because we rent out clothes for Busy Man for $100. People get to wear like 10 clothes per month. So we need real clothes. So we need to find partners. So I thought if we get on a trade publication, then we will have partners, right? So then I went to TechCrunch conference and I wait outside of press room. As soon as they came out, I give them a business card. No, that's bullshit. We don't even have business card. Which startup has business card? It's just a random paper with a company name and idea. So I bumped into a company called WLD, which is a trade publication in the industry, fashion industry. So I tell her about my ideas and la la. And when I went home, I follow up with her, and eventually she emailed me back. And she said, "Stop emailing me. I'm not interested in the story." So life goes on. A month after, she emailed me back, and I thought, "Hey, see, I told you so. You changed your mind, right?" She said, "I'm still not interested in the story at all, but my colleague seems interested in learning more, so I'm connecting you too." So I talked to a colleague. He totally gets it. He knows about circular fashion, lots of waste. $30 billion in the US goes to landfill directly. It's a lot of economic loss, but also you generate 10% carbon emission, 20% of polluted water. It's a big fashion problem. So yeah, this is amazing. We are ready to get on the cover page. Nothing happened. Nothing. So life went on. We went on a startup competition. We compete and became the West Coast Championship. And the competition was hosted by Northwestern University of Chicago. So it's an alumni competition. And we were ready to move on to a global final. So I thought, hey, this might be a newsworthy, not really, newsworthy idea, but only newsworthy for one person besides me. School publication. Who will care this? Only school. It's a school host startup competition, but not University of Chicago. It's actually Northwestern University. Why? Because the headline should read Northwestern University faculty win University of Chicago startup competition, right? And they hate each other. This is a great news. So I reached out to Northwestern University school newspaper. They did publish the story. Somehow there was no news the next morning. So ABC show called me, asked me to get on the morning show. So then I went on the morning show because they read the school publication, and then we talk about this news. And I took this news clip. Then I sent to the trade publication. Remember, I want the trade publication to publish because I want the partners. So I sent it to the person and I said, hey, you can use this to convince your manager. I'm assuming because your manager didn't like the story. See, we are getting on ABC now. You can use it to convince him or her. And the next day, the trade publication news came out. The first supplier, who is a Canadian brand, reached out to me, say, hey, I did see your news on WFD. I'm interested in becoming your vendor. And from that one vendor, we now have 150 fashion brand partners. We work with Rails, Marine Layer, Johnson & Murphy, Bonobos, Cuts, BYLT. And we don't always buy the clothes. We do revenue share. Every time we rent out, we share money to them. People buy the clothes, we share money to them. But because renting out is picked by our AI, so they are not afraid of not getting any money because for sure they will get people renting clothes, which means at least they will get rented money, which they will recoup their wholesale price. And for us, we don't have to buy the inventory. There's no upfront inventory risk. And it all started with that one email and waiting outside of a conference room.
So your business then, Anya, uses software. It's not a true software as a service business, or is it? You know, it kind of is. It's kind of like direct to consumer retailer meets SaaS. Are you able to get subscription revenue because of the rental model? Is that how it works?
Both. We make three revenues. One is people rent the monthly fee, just like your Netflix shows. You signed up for your Netflix, now you can watch your show. In our model, the same thing. You pay $100, you can start wearing clothes, and our AI will pick clothes for you, and you get a human stylist will talk with you if you want to get on Zoom call or what. But our AI will support a human stylist, so most of the work will be done by AI. And from there, you get real clothes, ready, clean to wear for a couple of weeks. You go on pitches or events or conference. If you are traveling, you change your address, you ship it to a hotel, you wear whole weeks, you return the dirty clothes into a prepaid envelope, give it to a hotel lobby, you go home without doing any laundry. So, but most of customers after renting clothes, they also buy. So we make second money from people buying the clothes, which is very high margin. As people know, fashion industry is from 50 to 90% margin. So we make a lot of money also from people buying rented clothes, secondhand clothes, which is good for the environment because busy men will never go to the trash store. But now they can actually buy secondhand like new, but still saving a lot of money for themselves while supporting the environment. But because we pick the clothes for busy men, our AI, remember like your Uber, you don't pick the car, you assign a car to you. So customer for sure will give us feedback. If this time sleeve is too long, you're going to tell me. Otherwise, next time the sleeve will still be too long, right? So then we take those feedback, become AI again, and we sell to brands. I can tell you next year what's going to sell, what people think about your clothes. I can help you predict what's next year and reduce the future inventory, which is 30 billion revenue business per year for them. So we make money from the consumer, like AI, the Google model. We get the data and we sell the insight again to help the world to stop producing junk. So then people get better clothes and better for the environment.
That's excellent. So, what are the most motivating factors for you? Why do you do what you do, and what gives you the motivation every day?
Yeah, I think I love helping people achieve their goals. I think throughout my career, I didn't come from wealthy family or people family who are full of entrepreneur, but throughout the journey, a lot of people help me, right? So even the recruiter who was get laid off, she still tell me tips. And I feel like that I really passionate to help people to achieve their goal. And this business allow me to do so. I started this business because when I was working for Meta, I felt imposter syndrome. I'm Taiwanese woman who didn't came from engineering background, but I do lead technology teams throughout my career last 10 years. So I feel imposter syndrome and I want to look great. It's almost like student, when you buy the textbook, you feel that you are ready for the exam. You're not, but you are. You feel you're ready. You're always in a movie, right? When someone dress up you and you pat your back, say, hey, adjust your tie and say, hey, you are ready to go. Like the gadget guy behind superhero, hey boss, I got these gadgets, you go and get a bad guy, right? I feel like we always need those person. And because I have been in the US alone for the last 20 years, my family is still back in Taiwan. I always appreciate I have someone, a stranger, to help me throughout the journey and pat my back, say, hey, you are ready to go. And I realized Taelor can be that business. So when I was in Meta, I want to look great. So I tried subscription boxes, but you have to buy from every single shipment from like Stitch Fix, for example. And that's a lot of my space. How many times am I going to wear these clothes? How do I pair these clothes? Can I find somewhere cheaper to buy this type of clothes? It's a lot of my space. After you get the clothes, I have to do laundry, ironing and folding. It's a lot of work. Dry clean, crazy expensive. So I start renting. Company like Amore rent the runway, Newly, which is a 500 million revenue company backed by Urban Outfitter. Woman's Space has tons of rental company, but they all require me to pick. We have 100,000 garments, spend 3 hours picking. How do I know what to pick? I'm not fashion forward. I don't read GQ or Vogue. How do I know? So there was an aha moment that I realized fashion company has been designed for people who love fashion. They are ignoring people who don't care about fashion, but who need to look good, right? Sales guy, single guy. If I tell you wear these clothes, you will get a girlfriend, boyfriend. Yes, I am willing to wear it. Who cares what is the color? I don't care red or blue. As long as I achieve my goal. If you're a sales guy, I tell you wear this, you will help you to land a deal. Would you wear it? Yes. We have customer went to conference. We send him a dolphin print shirt. He said, why? I'm going conference. Our stylist said, give it a try. Our AI recommended. He again went to a conference. People starting commenting on his shirt. Hey, amazing shirt. I like your shirt. It become a conversation opener and he closed a deal. That's a goal, right? That's what we are here for. And I realized our business can help to achieve that. And differently, Phoebe, my co-founder, she has been big in sustainability. She feel like this is wrong. 10% of carbon emission just from people producing junk of clothes that end up in a landfill. This is so wrong. So she wanted help on the environment, and these help busy men who would not go to a trash store to support sustainability. For fashion brand, they get the data so they can stop producing junk. After they produce, they can test the market before mass production through rental. After testing, if when they mass production, if it's overstock, we can still rent it out and then instead of burning them. So entirely become a one-stop shop for those brands as well.
Well, I love the concept because I think you're right. There are so many people that don't care about the details of the color or brand. They just want it to be taken care of for them, and that's a massive opportunity. Um, as far as the market share to be had, it's massive. You're just barely scratching the surface, too, right? So I would think that will help you in your next fundraise. Have you already been working on networking into the right investors for the next round?
Yeah, we have already getting actually some fundings on our rounds. We got Goodwater Capital, which is largest consumer tech VC in the world. Now is one of our investors. YouTube founder is our angel investor. Morgan Stanley, managing director, is our investor. Early investor of the biggest manufacturer of company like Lululemon, Nike, Zara's are all our investors. And then we are also backed by early investor of TSMC. So throughout the journey, we have grown a lot and grown 6 times month over month, and we're able to get those amazing investors. But still, we think building a product is not easy. Minority founder is not easy. As you guys know, very little money goes to female founder, even though female founders' return is actually way more than men's founded company. So we still want more investors who believe in sustainability, believe in helping people achieve their dreams, and join us to be part of this sustainability and circular fashion journey.
I believe that uh, today in 2026, the the frustrations that female founders have faced in the past is slowly going away. It's not over, it's harder. I agree with you. Um, I think that a lot of uh, especially within the Silicon Valley, there are a lot of funds that have a mandate to actually try to find and help the right founders that have a viable investment. And so if for you, the way you network, I'm certain you will continue to get in with the right female audiences. By the way, I know that's another great media move for you. The amount of stories that can be shared of a great female founder like yourself are, that's a massive opportunity for you. So keep taking advantage. I got a question for you. You have chosen to target the male audience, 50% of the world versus all of it. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so when we were what we found, number one is that we are believe that we are a data business. So it's about that using the data of customer renting and helping on the $30 billion loss every year. So men's fashion really not much trends, right? So I can tell you the trendy is that color of mocha. So if you have light brown, wear it. It's very trendy. And dark red and like red wine color is very trendy. That's all. Not a lot of trend. And then okay, shorts. The shorter, the trendier. So if you have those shorts that pass your knees, do not wear them. And also skinny jeans is out of style. So wear if it's something bulky, no worry, it's very trendy. And that's about it. Not a lot of trend in men's fashion. And also guys, they don't want to pick, which means we pick for them, which means we can reach 100% utilization of our clothes. Right? The clothes, and actually instead of waiting there to be people to pick, we pick the clothes. So just like Uber driver, they always have customers. And this also allow number of clothes being rented and also allow customer to discover something new. On top of that, most of our customers end up buying clothes. In a woman's rental business, women don't buy because we want to wear different things every day. So I'm not buying. But for guys, because they want to try before they buy. So they tend to buy the clothes. So we make additional money. And because we are picking, remember, so they give us data again. So the men's business really allow us to actually have multiple revenue stream, much higher margins, and much more clean data. And I think that and this also definitely is the right time because then the Gen AI with AI stylists. But I want to comment on your previous questions on woman investing. So now I do think that when I became a founder, I do feel sad at the beginning because I realized 1.8% of money goes to female founders. 1.8, not 18, 1.8. But in fact, there are 50% in the US, the companies actually founded by woman founders, 30% in Silicon Valley, technology company founded by woman founder. And woman founder actually perform 20% more. So I feel sad about that. One day I went to TechCrunch. It was in the final of the battlefield, and I met a female founder who are the finalists. So she will dress up very nicely. She has a giant diamonds on her ring, on her finger, a ring on the finger. And so I comment on the ring. I say, "Hey, you looks great, and I love your jewelry." And she said, "Oh, I'm not married. I wear it because I'm competing tomorrow, and psychology shows that more married women are more trusted by investors, and that's why I'm wearing the ring." I was shocked. She was as a founder, have sold company 3 times. She is a wife and a lot of experience, and she had to wear that ring. But I realized that my sadness won't help on the business. So I decided to think of this way. Okay, if only minority will support minority, so bad. Then I will talk to all of a minority. Oh, you are Italian Americans, great. You are Nigerian Americans, great. You are gay, great. You are women's, great. You are minority in your firm. You came from non-tech background versus tech background. Oh, you came from finance background. You're a minority. So I rally all of a minority investor, and that's how we were able to get this amazing investor. And with all minority on my side, I'm majority already, right? Mindset really actually changed that what we have been able to achieve and got those amazing investors on the cap table.
Yeah, I love your mentality, and I hope that people listening today are paying attention to how Anya doesn't let what was the normal be the normal for her. She's willing to say, yeah, it's only 1.8% of founders that are female that get financing. But I'm different and I'm going to find a way. I'm from Taiwan. I don't speak good English, but that doesn't mean I can't have opportunity in America. I didn't grow up with a network of people. My mom and dad can't introduce me to people. They don't come from money. They didn't go to college in the US. I'm still going to get into college. I'm going to make my own connections, make relationships with professors I can go back to years later. She has created for herself so many things, and male or female, black, white, or Asian, what you've done is proven, Anya, that if there's a will, there's a way. And the amount of opportunity that we're blessed with in the USA is something we should not take it for granted. We need to take full advantage of it. Even if you come to the US barely speaking English, you can raise millions in funding and build a multi-million-dollar business and then take it to the moon. So is the goal to eventually build and hold, or build and sell for you?
We are VC-backed company, so we are ready to exit within 3 to 7 years and either being sold or going IPO. We are already talking with a lot of potential acquirers, including fashion companies, retailers, and e-commerce companies, or company who are focused on men's markets and not about apparel. Say you want to sell cars, whiskeys, wines, travel plan to men's and watches, and men can buy a lot of stuff. So are already talking with us. So our steam forward on those area, and we are VC back. So asset is definitely on the table.
Excellent, Anya. So Anya, in closing, I want to know something personal about you. So you have big goals and dreams from a business perspective, from a career perspective. What are some of your lifelong goals for yourself outside of work?
Actually, my goal is to sell the company and then get my PhD. So I don't have my PhD yet. I am Throughout my journey being a product person, the UX UI design, the marketings, and even leading AI on changing people's behavior, I was fascinated by behavioral science. So my goal is actually sell the company and then this is going to get my PhDs in behavioral science. So and then during the time, I think my new research project will become a new startup.
Wow, always thirsting for growth. I think that's a common theme among founders. Personal growth is so important to you. That's outstanding. Okay, Anya Cheng, founder of Taelor.style, is where you go to the website, Taelor.style. If you go to that website or you just search up on Google Taelor AI, you will be able to find their awesome website and check out renting clothes versus buying them for once. I'm excited to check it out. Anya, you probably have a new customer in me. It's time for me to up my game with fashion, that's for sure. So thank you for coming on the show today.
Use the code podcast25, you get 25% off first month. If you are a woman and have surrounded by guy who want to look great, use the code podcast gift to get 10% off gift card. Go on Taelor.style, Taelor.style. And for you are investors, suppliers, talents, we are hiring like crazy. So reach out to me, sales BD, marketing, machine learning engineer, operations, merchandising stylist. And my email is Anya, ANYA @TAELOR.AI, Taelor.ai. Thank you.
Anya Cheng of Taelor.ai, guys. Thanks for coming on the show today, Anya. I appreciate you.
Thanks for joining me on Startups with Stu. We have big goals to help millions of entrepreneurs. If you enjoyed this show, please take a minute to share it with someone else that needs to hear it, or leave a review. Remember, success is within reach for those who dare to dream big and take action. Until next time, keep pushing forward on your entrepreneurial journey.